It's SNL. And you know what that means. It is the Sunday Night League with Formula X season number 11 here at the Nürburgring for round number 8 of Formula X. We weren't here last week, unfortunately. Apologies for that. We didn't have enough drivers turn up for the race. So, as a result, we postponed the race due to some technical issues for some unable to join. We only had 9 races. And a fallout of all that, we have lost Mercedes, which is unfortunate given that we have the Mercedes stand at the Nürburgring. So, unfortunately, some of the German fans are not happy to see that silver mark no longer on the grid. But we have 12 drivers on the grid this evening, 14 scheduled to be here. Fortunately, 2 unable to join us this evening. Apologies for the delay. I covered myself in a sticky substance. Yes, that's right. I covered myself in Lucasade. It spilt everywhere all over the top of me because my blood sugars were dropping. Woohoo! Great diabetes problems. Anyway, enough of all that. We're going to go straight to the grid, and as you can see, we have a driver on pole position. He is currently in 11th place in the championship. It's Ragemus Prime in the Red Bull. Now, he was the only driver in qualifying to use soft tyres, so the pressure was on him to get the pole position, and he duly delivered. Let's talk about the championship overall as we look at that Red Bull sat on pole position. In first place is the Ferrari of Bunnies, his win last time out at Road Atlanta, propelling him to the top of the standings, 163 points for him. Ajax is second in the Williams, long-term leader in the championship, 152 points, 11 points behind his brother in the championship fight. Bondimus Prime in the Renault, fantastic season for him so far, 137. He has won this season as well. In fourth place, another standout driver is Ben, 108 points in the Toro Rosso. He is having a great consistent performance. Jam in the Jordan, 104 points for him after a win earlier in the season. Gazman, after 2 disconnects early in the season, he's sixth for 101 points, only 7 points behind Ben, who's currently 4th. The Punisher is in 7th place in the Ferrari with 79 points, just 1 point ahead of Alpha Capri in the Williams. Unfortunately, Alpha Capri unable to attend us last night in the Williams, so get well soon. Hopefully everything is okay with you, Alpha Capri. In 9th place is Slenderfella in the Red Bull with 60 points. In 10th place, 2 points behind, is Rob on drums in the Toro Rosso. So some great fighting between Red Bull and Toro Rosso. Ragemus Prime has 51 points in 11th place and has the pole position. Mr. Smith is in 12th in the Jordan with 44 points, and unfortunately Mr. Smith is unable to attend the rest of the season, so that Jordan is vacant if anybody wishes to join us. In 13th place is Upgraded, who's at McLaren, and he is unable to join us for the rest of the season as well. He's got a problem with internets and bits and pieces, so he has 32 points. So his McLaren seat has been taken by a Lowy, who's got 24 points, was with Mercedes for a couple of races, now is with McLaren, joining Gazman in that team. Lynchmus has 22 points in the Renault. Then we have Pat on 11, who stood in it for this Red Bull, and Bailey on 5 for Red Bull. In terms of the team championship, Ferrari lead with 242 points. They're just 12 points ahead of Williams with 230. Then we have a bit of a gap to Toro Rosso, 166 points, but they're only 7 points ahead of Renault with 159 points. They are only 11 points ahead of Jordan with 148. McLaren are coming up fast as well, 133 points for the Papaya outfit. Red Bull have 127 points. So, back to the grid. Pole position for Ragemus. He took that pole. Soft tyres, pressure was on. Pole position for him, soft mediums for the race, and he starts on soft tyres for this 32-lap race around the Nürburgring. He's joined on the front row yet again. Another strong qualifying position for Gazman in the McLaren. Medium tyres for him, softs for the start of the race, and mediums and hards later on in the race. Here, in third place, we then have Ben in the Toro Rosso. He's currently 4th in the championship. He had medium tyres in qualifying, softs to start, soft and mediums for the rest of the race. In fourth place, the man currently second in the championship is Ajax in the Williams. Mediums in qualifying, all soft for this race. So a very aggressive strategy. In fifth place, Bondemus Prime in the Renault. So the top four in the championship really taking it to everybody else. Fifth place on the grid for Bondemus. He qualified on mediums, softs. He starts on soft, mediums for the race. In sixth place, the championship leader, Bunnies in the Ferrari. Hard tyres in qualifying. Starts on hard tyres as well for the race, but has two sets of softs for the rest of it. In seventh place, his teammate, the Punisher, in medium tyres for qualifying, softs to start the race, and soft and hards for the rest of the race. In eighth place, the other Red Bull of Slenderfella, mediums for qualifying, but he starts on the hards, softs, and another pair of softs for him to race with. In ninth place is a Lowy, that pink helmet looking resplendent in the papaya. He's qualified on medium tyres. He starts on the softs. He has soft and mediums for the rest of the race. He takes that McLaren tyre allocation for the rest of the season. 10th place is Rob on drums in the Toro Rosso as his teammate. Ben says good evening in the chat. Rob on drums in 10th place on the grid. Qualified on the medium tyres. The hard tyres, starts on the mediums and has softs and mediums for the rest of the race. 11th place is Lynchmus Prime in the Renault, qualified on soft tyres, starts on softs and has mediums and mediums for the rest of the race. And finally, in 12th place is Jam. Mistake in qualifying saw him end at the back. One lap they have for qualifying. He starts on soft tyres for the race and has all softs like Ajax for the rest of the race. So that is your grid. All 12 cars lining here at the Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit. No mistaking that it is the Nürburgring GP circuit, not the Nordschleife. We're not racing there this season, although we have done in the past. So everybody's ready. Hopefully you've got your popcorn. We have 32 laps round the GP circuit. Ragemus on pole, Gasman second, Ben third, Ajax fourth, fifth is Bondemus. We have 5 red lights. It's a long hold, and it's go. Ragemus has a great start, but Gasman straight away on the overtake, trying to get the move done into turn 1, as Ben looks into the middle and thinks better of it as he backs out into turn 1. They all go through cleanly, it looks like. Very nicely done from everybody as they go through the first sector, which is this inside loop towards that Mercedes grandstand. So Ragemus leading from Gasman. Gasman looking very racy, on board with the McLaren as they come out turn 4. He's on the overtake, trying to have a look. Keeps that pressure on as Ragemus keeps the lead as they go down the hill through this right-hander. And he's on the overtake once more. They're all attacking. Gasman under attack though from Ajax, and Ajax having a great move on the Scot as Ben also goes up the inside at the Dunlop corner, also known as Coca-Cola, I believe. In the past, there's a few scraps going on. What happened here? Let's go and look on board with Bondemus. He was 5th. He had a great view of that fight ahead of him with Ben, Gasman and Ajax fighting over 2nd place. He goes into the corner. Oh, a little touch with Gasman on the exit, and then there's Ben nearly losing it. And in fact, he actually holds the position somehow, keeping hold of it, pointing the right way. Ben looked like he was going to see the scenery in a very dramatic fashion, but stays in 3rd in that Toro Rosso. He's been pushed along by Gasman through the top bend as Bunny stays in 6th, Lowy 7th, Punisher 8th. Jam is up to 9th place now as he goes on the attack against the Punisher. You can see him going round the outside of the Ferrari as they go into the chicane at the end of the lap. So they're through the lap now, so it is at the front of the race. Ragemus, he's got a nice little gap as well. He's pulling away from Ajax, as we can see in the background. Ben has got the attention of 2 drivers, not just Gasman, but Bondemus having a look. Bondemus really attacking in 4th place, but then gets himself up into 3rd place at the apex of turn number 1. The Renault driver showing us why he's so high up in the championship right now. He's 3rd after a fantastic season. Gasman fighting hard behind and gets himself briefly up into 3rd, but Bondemus is now back into 3rd place. as we see them going 3 wide down towards the left-hander. Ben on that inside, he's got a great position on that inside. He does make the move, puts the pressure on as we go up to the front of the field. Oh, I thought we had a move happening, but we don't. Ben and Bondemus fighting it out with Gasman in 5th place. Bondemus getting a good drive out of the corner up towards the Schumacher S, and he's got himself up to 3rd. Fantastic driving by these drivers, and they are nose to tail right here in Germany. Like, share and subscribe if you haven't done so already for this fantastic racing around the Grand Prix circuit here at the Nürburgring. Bunny's still in 6th place, Aloy 7th. Punisher back ahead of Jam as they go on the fight down towards the chicane. Ragemus leads still for Red Bull, doing his best Sebastian Vettel impression in that car. The drivers have to run the tyres for 5 laps at a minimum, unless it rains. This is a circuit where it can rain. As we see in the background, Aloy looks like he's got past Bunnies. Let's have a look into the chicane. So on board with Aloy, a bit of a slide by Bunnies, and Aloy strays away, taking advantage of that small mistake by Bunnies in the Ferrari. He's got his teammate behind him. As we look at the front of the field, but Ragemus and Ajax were a lot closer, but it's the battle for 3rd place. We've seen this before, going into turn 1, and it's Gasman cutting himself up into the inside. Nicely done with those 3 fighting, as Jam moves himself up into 7th. What happened here? So Jam and the Punisher fighting each other. So the Punisher and him going into turn 1, and oh, a little bit of a hit between the 2 Ferrari drivers. Bunnies then losing the position to Jam. Down to 8th place goes Bunnies after a big hit. He's got damage on the rear and a damage to the front. The Ferrari team not happy by the look of that. To see that happen, it's their former team boss and driver Gasman in 5th place right now. He'll be thinking of the times he would have been cursing that misfortune as Bondemus runs wide. Bondemus drops down to 6th place. He's run wide, put under pressure by Ben. Fantastic driving by Ben here at the Nürburgring. He's keeping himself in the mix. Gasman in 4th place with Aloy 5th now. Look at these McLarens, 4th and 5th. Aloy and Gasman, pink and blue helmets together. It just looks right. Bondemus then, after that mistake, down to 6th place now. He's got Jam behind him, with Bunnies in 8th, the Punisher 9th, Slender Fella in 10th place in that Red Bull. Rob on drums, Toro Rosso keeping contact in 11th, and Lynchmus is there in 12th, using the overtake, trying to get back into the rhythm as Ragemus goes round once more. Lap number 3 completed. He's used a quarter of his overtake at this moment in time. So has Ajax, so they're keeping themselves away from the rest of the field. There is a bit of a gap. We'll look at that gap in a moment, because once more, you know, it's turn number 1. It's Ben and it's Gasman, and Gasman's looking to make the move into turn 1, but this time, oh, does he do it? No, Ben holds the better racing line in comparison, so the Toro Rosso stays in position. What is the gap between him and Ajax? As we look, it's about 4.5 seconds. Then it is a gap. It's a very small gap, in fact, for the lead. It's about, well, it's about less than a second, about 8/10 maybe between those two. We go back to the battle here because Bondemus has got Aloy chasing him, and Aloy's got Jam as well. They're both fighting it out. So Aloy back in SNL, missed the start of the season, came back for the second half. He's back and he's in the mix once more after a disappointing season 10. By his own admission, he wasn't happy with that performance, but he's going for it once more. He's got the fight on with Bondemus. Back to the front of the field. Ragemus is still dragging Ajax along. He's going slightly quicker than the fastest lap set by Ajax on lap number 2 of 1:37.2 for the Canadian. As we see them going down the hill towards the chicane. And in the background, we've got Jam and Aloy. Jam getting past Aloy as they go into the chicane. Jam trying to get the corner done, but doesn't quite get it sorted. He's under pressure now from Aloy as they go into the final corner. A mistake by the Jordan, and the McLaren up the inside. You don't have to ask him twice, but Jam, side by side they go across the line. They are still fighting it out. Lowy has the inside line. He should take the move into turn one. He does make the move into turn one. And Jam has to concede the position. There's a hit. Was that? He's gone forward with Bondimus. Ben in the chat saying the battle with Gazman was fantastic, brilliant fun. No, the clipped cones on the outside, I think must have been a battle between Ben and Gazman that took that. Gazman really attacking turn number 4. At the front of the field, we still have Ragemus. Ragemus actually setting the fastest lap last time out, 36.8 compared to a 37.3 to Ajax. So Ben pushing hard, saying the battle with Gazman was intense. It was a great fight. You can see in the background, it's Jam and Lowy once more. Lowy leading here. Lowy in the chat saying great fighting. It was a great battle indeed. Lowy still holding the position. Jam all over the back of the McLaren, but the McLaren on the overtake. Jam not on the overtake, on board with the Jordan driver, who's got a mirror full of the Punisher in the Ferrari. So to end lap number 5, you can pit. So the Punisher is looking at Jam saying, "Ooh, I could get past you here." Let's go on board with him in the slipstream. He's on the overtake. Jam up ahead though is looking for the move on Lowy into the chicane. Getting it brake, trying to get it stopped, but doesn't get through the corner. Lowy also having a bit of trouble, and the Punisher is really on them. They're not getting through that chicane very quickly at all. As they fight each other, they're actually slowing each other down as well, because they're falling up about 2.5 seconds, 3 seconds to Bondimus, so they're losing time in this great fight. Slender Fella is in the chat saying, "Hello everybody, Jam up into 6th place now with a Lowy there." As into the pits comes the first pit driver, Bunnies on the hard tyres, as does Slender Fella in the Red Bull. So those hard tyres are gone. Softs will be put on the Ferrari. So one of the first drivers to pit is the Ferrari of Bunnies. In comes Slender Fella. He is in, and away goes his hard set of tyres, and he will then be on softs. I was going to say, soft tyres should be on for Slender Fella. Lynchmus in 12th place, still on those softs, getting back into the swing of it. It is Ragemus though leading the race, and it's got a nice gap actually. Pulling away from Ajax. Ajax setting his fastest lap of the 37.2, which was the same as Ragemus. But Ragemus just pulling away now. Ben has the pressure of Gazman. Still happening with Bondimus now. A fair way ahead of Jam. Jam running wide though. Not having the best of exits. That means he's going to be under pressure from a Lowy once more. The McLaren driver straight away on that overtake. I was expecting to see the red button on the right hand side at the bottom of the screen. That shows you that the overtake is happening. Into the chicane they go. Attack, attack. Through it once more. Ahead. Gazman attacking Ben into turn number 1. Will it happen? Ben feeling a little bit of a need to defend. Gazman up that inside. We see him take a tighter line. Then Ben, there's a little touch on the exit. Then Gazman backs out of it. They're pushing hard, entertaining stuff, but they can't touch Ragemus right now. He's setting purple times. As we'll have to see this again. Jam and a Lowy into turn 1. A Lowy goes up the inside. The McLaren driver taking the apex of turn number 1. Oh, in the background though, Punisher having a bit of a fight, but then Jam on the inside. A Lowy on the outside, a Lowy on the better line, but then Jam takes the corner into turn number 3 before they get into turn 4. But then a Lowy will get a better drive out of 4. Pushes hard. Will he be on the overtake? Not quite. As Jam takes back 6th position from the McLaren driver. Ragemus leading though. He's 3/10 up on his best times. Gazman set the fastest lap of the race, a 36.5, a 36.8 for Ben. They are lapping quickly, and 38.4 for Ajax, so that's where the time's been lost. Ajax having a bit of a duff lap on lap number 6 in comparison. 36.9 though for Ragemus as well, so he was not as quick on that last lap either. as Ajax looks to be back in his stride. So Ben tries to catch up. Where did Bunnies speed out after his pit stop? He's in 10th place. He's 1.1 seconds faster than he has been in the race thus far. He's catching up with Rob on drums, who's on the medium tyres at this point in time. We have the Punisher in 8th place. Aloe there in 7th. Jam in 6th. They're both fighting each other. Jam in 6th, looking vulnerable as we go up the field though. No battle into turn 1. I thought there might have been, but here we go. It is Jam and Aloe going up into 6th place. And into turn 1, he is back ahead of the Jordan. So the McLaren and the Jordan, there's a cone right in the middle of the circuit there on the exit of turn number 1. Very awkward position. We'll go on board with the new McLaren driver. He runs a little bit deep through 2. Jam is all over the back of him. Out of 4. Will they be able to do an overtake going through down to turn number 6? I don't think there's any chance through there at all. As Jam holds position then behind Aloe once more. These two battling each other. 38s. Comparison to Bondimus, he's on his own and he's able to do 36s and 37s, so they are slowing each other up a little bit. 37.8 for Gasman, 37.5 for Ben. It shows you what battling does. It slows you down a bit. So Ben holding position with Gasman. Some great fighting going on. We haven't got the full accompaniment of cars tonight, but we're only missing 2 after we lost Mercedes in the break. So Ragemus there in first place, still leading the field. He is getting on for 2.5 seconds ahead of Ajax as we go down towards the chicane. Aloe on his own, quite happy of not being attacked for once as Jam decides to pit. So the Jordan driver comes into the pits quite early on, actually. So Jam coming in at the end of lap number 8 on the soft tyres. So everybody else running a lot longer, it would seem. So Jam's first soft runner as Rob on drums has got Bunnies up the inside of him into the final corner. So the Ferrari driver up into 9th place. Will he get past the Jordan? The Jordan in the pits, getting new tyres. Off he goes. And Bunnies and Rob on drums going past. So the Jordan goes down to 10th place as Bunny moved himself up into 8th. Just behind his teammates, the Punisher. There is Aloe. Punisher keeping up the pace. Back to the battle for 3rd place though. It's Ben and Gasman. Gasman all over the back on board with another McLaren as he looks to be in position to take Ben. It's up the hill, left-hander. It's not much of a braking area for the drivers, but he gets an opportunity. Ben runs a little bit wide, becomes vulnerable, and this will be the run down to the chicane towards the end of the lap. We can see overtakes. Ben feeling the pressure on the overtake himself as Gasman looking all over. Gasman deciding to go this way and that, but Ben holds position perfectly, but he is then vulnerable to an attack on the exit, but nothing doing for Gasman thus far. As into the pits comes Ajax. So Ajax into the pits, deciding on a different battle. Ben is there, 2nd place. Although he's saying he didn't notice the cone in turn 1 all race, to be honest, I don't think it was there. I can't remember seeing a cone at all. Ben though, Gasman, absolutely nose to tail, fighting it out, side by side. Great respectful driving between the two as, whoa, Gasman, how on earth did he hold on to that? We'll go on board with the Scot. So that cone, I don't know, I don't remember ever seeing it. Wouldn't be too tempting to hit, surely. But Gasman on this outside, then gets on the marbles, gets a lot of speed, goes for a cutback, attacks, hit the curb. They both actually have a bit of a slide, because Ben slid his Toro Rosso too, but nothing but great driving from the pair of them at 6th place. The Punisher is ahead of Ajax. That is key. The Punisher could cause a problem for Ajax right now. The teammate of Bunnies hasn't stopped yet. His tyres aren't too bad. The soft tyres can run quite deep into the race, but he's got to put the overtake on to defend the position. Feels the need going into the hairpin at the bottom of the hill. Ajax, though, getting a move done in there. Was there a bit of a touch? Possibly. I think Ajax then gave it the position back. Yeah, there was a touch. He's on the overtake. The Punisher's still there. Ooh. Okay, so Ajax up into 6th place. I thought there was a bit of a touch there between the two of them going into the hairpin. The Punisher in 7th place. Bunny's in 8th. Jam in 9th after his pit stop, so he's got past Rob on drums. Slenderfella in 10th place now, 38.3 for him on those softs, as Rob on drums has made a stop. He's on his medium tyres once more, so he's got his new set of mediums. He's got softs to run at some point. Lynchmus still on his softs from the beginning of the race, as Ragemus comes through the stadium section. His gap to Ben is about 6 seconds. So Gazman fighting with Ben. He's falling back a bit, actually. The tyres, very similar between the two. Ben drives on a controller, I believe, still. So he's doing really well with the tyres with the controller. It's Gazman in 3rd place. Bondimus is in 4th. Some of the fastest drivers in SNL history have been controller drivers as well. So there's nothing wrong about that. Aloe, 5th place in his McLaren return, a team he got a podium for many moons ago. Season number 6 at Barcelona. A great day for the Aloe family. Ajax in 6th place then. Now ahead of the Punisher, pushing hard. With Bunnies in a purple sector for him, purple lap for him on the last lap, 36.2, very fast indeed for the Canadian. Jam 38.4 for him, so not on the pace at all compared, but he's going 4/10 of a second quicker than he has been before. Slenderfella in 10th place, 37.7 for him, so he's catching up with Jordan ahead, whilst Ragemus goes into another lap. Well, it's another lap, it's another turn 1. You can guess what's going to happen here. Let's go on board with Ben. We've got a McLaren all in our mirrors. Do we see a McLaren going into turn number 1? There it is, but it's not quite close enough. Again, Gazman, tighter line through turn 1, but Ben on the better drive and can get the traction down and keep the position. He's not daunted by the Scot behind him, keeping it all neat and tidy, the two of them pushing on. No overtake being used, similar amounts of overtake indeed between the two drivers as they go down the hill through turn 6. Towards the Dunlop curve and then towards the Schumacher S is Ragemus. His left front tyre starting to show a bit more wear than those that are chasing him. So he's been pushing hard. We've seen that, 36.8 for him on lap number 4. Not too far off the fastest lap set by Bunnies through this race at the moment. So Ragemus, full battle. Led from pole position. He's pushing on. Ben pushing as well, kicking up the stones into Gazman's face, the visor covered in stones and gravel. Bondimus a little bit further back behind this battle. What is the gap between him? They're going through, so it's about 6 seconds between him. So Bondimus there, and then it's another 6 seconds to Aloe, who's then got Ajax catching him. So Ajax in the Williams, going through the chicane towards the end of the lap, pushing hard, trying to get the power down. The Punisher in 7th place. He's got his teammate catching him up. Now, the last time these two were catching each other up, there was a hit by the Punisher on Bunnies. So, let's see what happens here. Will there be team orders from the Scuderia? If they go into lap number 13, the sun is out here in Germany. Like, share and subscribe if you haven't done so already. It makes a huge difference to the channel if you do that, as we watch the two Ferraris here at the Red Bull Ring. The Nürburgring. And now we're going to see the change of the position as the Punisher runs wide on the exit of 4, and Bunnies takes the place. His fresher softs getting him more traction. He's in 36.8 compared to 39.4 for the Punisher actually on the previous lap, so he's a lot quicker. Ragemus currently in the 39s himself. These soft tyres now coming to the end of their life. 14 laps maybe is their peak in terms of performance, really. But he can take them a lot longer, he can take them deep into the race, but he's going to pit now at the end of lap number 13. Ben was catching, and Ben decides to pit, but Gasman does not. Gasman in the McLaren not pitting, deciding to have the clean air for a lap. We've seen, though, at previous tracks, the undercut is very significant between the drivers. 77% fuel left for them all. Bondimus is in too. So the drivers are in. In comes Ragemus, the long-term leader. He's led every lap. As we go to the end of lap number 14, he drops behind Ajax and Aloe. Ajax under pressure from Aloe. Aloe going into turn 1, though. Not happening. So Ajax has got past Aloe, I would have thought. That happened, it did. It happened out of. Here we go. So Aloe had an attack out of the chicane, and then Aloe then just left a little bit of a door open for Ajax. Ajax then moving up the inside on the overtake, trying to push away. As we then see Ragemus coming out of the pits. He comes out quickly, and he's just dropped behind the battling Ajax and Aloe. So Aloe fighting it out in third place now. The McLaren driver, Ragemus, the former race leader, he's dropped behind Ajax. Ajax getting the jump then in the undercut. 5 laps earlier, he pitted though. So his tyres will start to wear out. Aloe, his tyres looking worn out. He's going long like his McLaren teammate. Ragemus behind. Well, we think he's got to get past this McLaren to stop the other McLaren jumping me. Ben in 5th place will be looking and seeing what's going on. Bunnies in 6th has caught up. Punisher in 7th. Bondimus in 8th after his pit stop on the soft tyres now as well. So they're all on the soft rubber. Ben, though, on the medium. So we've got softs to run at the end. As Ragemus on board with the Red Bull, chasing down the McLaren. The McLaren is on its 14th lap on these tyres. Ragemus uses the overtake to get past, and he'll attack into the chicane at the end of the lap, moves himself up into third place, gets himself into position, runs a little bit deep into the corner, gives the place back to Aloe, who then pops into the pits. So Ragemus actually doing the right thing and then having to yield as Aloe then cuts across to then do the stop. It means Ben has caught up a little bit and Bunnies has caught a pair of them up. So in comes Aloe for his stop. But Gasman in the other McLaren still keeps going. Lap number 15 of 32. We're almost halfway through this race. Like, share and subscribe if you like what you see so far. And just to let you know, there is a space at Jordan this season. It has been a season of me advertising race seats, it seems, in Formula X, as Ben has a massive slide in the Red Bull sponsored Toro Rosso. Bunnies in 5th. He's catching up. 36.9 for him on the last lap. Ben has to keep going. He's on the medium tyres. He will be vulnerable to an attack from the Ferrari on board with the championship leader. The right front tyre looking like it's picking up some graining on my screen. You might not be able to see it, but there are bobbles happening left front as well as it goes and becomes unloaded. Go through the Super Schumacher S, top of the hill. Bunnies will be trying to position himself so he can get a run through the chicane at the end of the lap. Ben, though, hitting the gravel. That's not going to help his momentum coming out. Obviously not. And then he's got the championship leader all in his mirrors. The red of that Ferrari will be glistening in the light here at the Nürburgring. Little bunny hops through the final chicane as Gasman still running on these soft tyres. He's got mediums and hards to run at some point. So his tyre strategy, run a long time on the soft tyres. it would seem. Punisher is in the pits. I thought I saw something going on with the way that the screen was going along. He was dropping down the field because he's in the pits, so he's taking his soft tyres for 15 laps. Such a long pit lane. Where is he? There he is. So the Canadian is into the pits. The Ferrari team ready to do a service. No fuel, obviously. Off he goes, and he puts on his set of soft tyres. Brand new set of softs. He's got hard to run into the race. He's just ahead of Slender Fella. The Slender Fella has... Oh no! The Punisher slides off. It's so easily done. He's on hard tyres, in fact. That's why he's had a slide. It did say soft, didn't it, ladies and gentlemen? I'm not going mad. Bob on drums in 11th place then, hoping to catch up the Punisher in this race. Gasman there in at first. Tom, or Lynchmas, is there after his pit stop on the soft tyres. Not been very well for Lynchmas. Weren't expecting to see him this race after some problems with his arm and his shoulder. Still in a bit of pain, I believe. He carries on, the spirit of SNL. Carries on regardless, getting some laps in, enjoying himself there. Gasman currently first place in the McLaren. Another lap number 17 for him. His rivals have all stopped. He's only 12 seconds ahead of Ajax as well. About 20 seconds of pit stop here at the Nürburgring, so he will fall behind drivers. He will probably fall behind Ragemus, as Bunnies has got past Ben. 38.9, 37.2. So Bunnies getting past Ben on the previous lap. So you didn't see that on screen, but it was beginning to happen. As we see, Bonderman's 37.2 for him, 38.3 for Jam. Jam not having the pace like he had the week before, oddly enough. Now Lowy in 8th place though in the McLaren, having a good drive. Slender Fella in 9th, 37.6 for him. So he's got fast pace, it's just unlocking it consistently. That's the secret to race pace here in SNL. Punisher there in 10th after his stop. The hard tyres, this is going to be punishing for him. Got to do 5 laps, there's a minimum on them, which I believe he'll do in the middle of this race, just to get rid of them. So Rob on drums in 11th place. Into the pits then comes the McLaren of Gasman, so Ajax will take the lead in the Williams here at the Nürburgring. So the Papaya crew are ready and waiting. 17 laps for Gasman on the soft tyres, a long stint. He's got mediums and hards for the rest of the race. To Ajax. First place is taken by him. Ragemus comes into second as Gasman comes out of the pits. He will lose out to Bunnies. Bunnies is in third. Gasman slots in between Bunnies and Ben to recommence the fight he's been having all race long. That cone has disappeared now as we then go on board with the Toro Rosso, with the Papaya McLaren ahead, and then the Ferrari of Bunnies just behind. Just ahead as well of him. So Gasman feeling the pressure. Those medium tyres not up to temperature yet compared to Ben's that have been on his car for a little while. He'll have got used to them. Going wide, trying to extend the exit. Bondermus has got a red light above his head. That's a perfect opportunity to say that he has then got 25% less than 25%, should I say, of his overtake remaining. As you can see, the green light above Gasman's helmet, that indicates he's got 25% or more of his overtake. The overtake being attacked though, the red light flashing on the dial just on the bottom right, just at the screen, shows that they're using the overtake. Will Ben use it? Down towards the chicanes, choosing not to, using the slipstream though to keep himself in contention. Slipstream is very strong here in Formula X, purposely so, to keep the racing close and keep everyone guessing. Ben is getting a great drive off the corners. He is in a prime position to get past Gasman. Does he use the overtake? He's choosing not to. Will he use it at the last moment to then boost himself? Or a little jink to the left, but then to the right. He sold him the old 1-2. Ben up into 4th place then. He's had a fight with Gasman through this race. Turn 1 has been their battling ground all race long. Gasman in 5th place then in the McLaren. Will he get a drive? He will get a drive. Ben running a little bit wide through turn 4, but not happening. Throwing cars at each other in such a great way. It's great entertainment here in Formula X here at SNL. Like, share and subscribe if you are enjoying what you're seeing. Ajax leading the race then, doing all he should be doing. First place here, great position to be in, obviously, but also in the championship standings. It's currently 11 points behind Bunnies. If it finished like this though, he would be 1 point with 2 races to go behind the Canadian. We are at Tokyo Expressway next week as well, as Ragemus takes the fastest lap, 36.1 for him. So he runs a bit deep into the chicane, so he's lapping very fast. He's catching up Ajax on his fresher tyres. Ajax pitted at the end of lap number 9, so it was a long time ago. It's taking them a long way in comparison to what he had before. Bunnies, though, was the first man to pit. He pitted at the end of lap number 5. He's now in to get rid of his soft tyres. Bondemus in 5th place. Jam jump the Ferrari of Bunnies. He should do. Yep, Bunnies is getting his new tyres. Another set of softs for him, so he's pitted. He's done all of his stops. He's got another 13 laps then to the end of this race. He feeds in just in front of Aloe. So he's in between Jam and Aloe. So you can see Jam actually, that earlier stop, he was fighting with Aloe quite a lot in the early stages of the race, and it has given him a 8.5 second gap to Aloe. That's what happens with this undercut. But then you get Ajax, who stopped a lot earlier, about 8 laps earlier than Ragemus, but his tyres are now worn out, and Ragemus, his tyres are brand new basically, and he's catching up Ajax hand over fist. So the Canadian in the Williams is vulnerable to an attack from the Red Bull. On board with the Red Bull driver, going into the chicane at the end of the lap, closes massively, in fact, catching up maybe a little bit too much with the help of the slipstream, catching himself out as he goes a little bit deep, losing the momentum, but he'll gain it back up again. He won't let that deter him as we go 12 laps left of this race, including the one that they're on, as Ben and Gasman recommence their battle. Gasman on the overtake as we go down the start-finish line. But Ben has enough of a gap to the McLaren. The McLaren, though, catching up under the braking. Very, very cautious there from Ben in comparison to Gasman. So Bunny's in 6th place. Jam in the pits now. Aloe also in the pits. Aloe on the medium tyres during that stint, as Jam is in for Jordan. They're all coming in for their final stops of the race. Lap number 21. Ben, though, is pushing. Of course he is. He's got Gasman behind him. Gasman in 4th place in the McLaren, going into the hairpin. 21st time. Not a place you often see overtakes. Gasman pushing. Trying to get the pressure on. Ben in the chat saying that the back end just didn't want to play through turn number 3 and 4 all race. He was having to fight it throughout. I must admit, this is a corner I've never had any problems with all practice sessions, but this race, looking at the wind speed, I think the wind changed it all. Ragemus then takes the lead in his Red Bull as Ajax is in the pits. Ajax not in there yet. So Ben still having the pressure of Gasman. So in comes the Williams driver, getting a new set of soft tyres. So he's going to go 11 laps to the end of this race. on those softs. He comes out ahead of Bunnies. Bunnies has made his final stop as well, so Bunnies does a 35.2 on lap number 21. Wow, that is fast. That is incredibly fast. Nobody else has been anywhere near that type of lap time. Bunnies, I wonder, did he use a lot of overtake? I don't know. We didn't see what was happening compared to a 37.8. Thank you everyone that's watching us live here on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, comment as well in the chat. I'll chat to you in there. So we've got 10 and a half laps left really for Ragemus as he comes into the end sections of the hill. So it's a downhill run for the Red Bull driver. He's got a set of mediums to run at some point, as well as we see Ben fighting with Gazman once more. Gazman getting a little bit squirrely on the exit, so he's got an attack move. Oh, they're fighting as Ben goes nearly off the circuit, looking possibly at the McLaren in his mirrors, distracted by the Scot, but holds the position as Gazman still on that overtake, trying to get past this Toro Rosso. He'll be fed up of that sign saying give you wings. He'd be hoping for a helicopter of some sort to propel himself over the top of it. Bondimus into the pits, then comes the Renault driver as Ajax and Bunnies, they are fighting it out. The two championship rivals fighting it out. Bunnies going past Ajax into turn number 1. Ajax though braking later, brakes very late. Can Bunnies though get up the inside? He can on the exit and gets himself ahead of his title rival on board with the with the Williams, as he sees the back of the Ferrari, the one car he didn't want to see the back of. He now sees the back of it. He's back on the overtake, pushing. He's got to get past Bunnies to keep the championship really in a fight. The one driver you don't want to give any momentum to is Bunnies in that Ferrari. We've seen it before. He's a 3-time champion in Formula X. He's the only driver to ever have won the championship more than once. This championship this championship was never defended for the first 6 seasons of its life. Never defended. Season number 7, Bunnies won the championship. Season 8, Gazman won it. Season 9, Ajax won it. And then last season, Bunnies won it once more. But it is Bunnies and Ajax fighting it out here at the Nürburgring, going into the chicane. They're fighting very, very hard as Ajax tries to go up the inside, tries to get into a position where Bunnies has to give him space, but doesn't quite get it done. Ben is in the pits as his battle with Gazman becomes a pit lane battle. He's deciding to get those mediums off and put some softs on. So he's trying to get the advantage on the softs. Gazman has got hards to run in this race, so really it is advantage possibly to Ben in this race. But Bunnies leading against Ajax, fighting it out. Ben comes out of the pits on the mediums and he's ahead of Bondimus critically. So Bondimus on those medium tyres to finish the race in the Renault. Jam on soft tyres on the softs in the Jordan. 38.9 for Lowy. Slender fella in his soft tyres in his Red Bull, getting towards the end. Punisher and Rob on drums are having a nice battle. We've lost Lynchmus. The pain must have been too much for the man currently at Renault. Rob on drums though, looking, using the overtake on the soft tyres now. Punisher also on the softs. We're going to turn 1. Battles happening all through the field. The front of the field though, it is Ragemus coming out of the final corner on lap number 24. He's got 8 laps left of this race. He'll be running long in that Red Bull, as will Gazman. Gazman's got the medium tyres on his car. He's got hards to run, but we've got Bunnies and we've got Ajax. They were fighting hard on the last lap. Ajax on the overtake, trying to get closer to the Ferrari. The sun shining here at the Nürburgring with 8 laps to go. Looks like it's settling down. Ben in 5th place. 2 drivers ahead. Still need to pit though. Ragemus and Gazman. So Ben looking good for a podium here. Or definitely in the fight. Bondamus 2 is in there as well. They're all very closely matched. Jam not too far. As the camera's been a bit weird. 37.1 for Jam on his last lap. 37.7 for Lowy. So they're all starting to get to grips with the circuit. Ragemus, he's got the red light now above his head. He's lapping a second off his pace, so his tyres are starting to feel the wear. There's about 13 laps on them last time. He's 12 laps into their life now, so he's probably going to do a couple more laps, probably. I would have guessed. So Ragemus keeps it going. Been leading this race a long time. Green flags are waving, so somebody's gone off, I think. We've got Bunnies has gone round Gazman. So the soft-tied Bunnies driving round the outside of Gazman. Yeah, just round the outside of him. What speed by the Ferrari. So Gazman's been jumped by Bunnies, and Bunnies now on the overtake to try and defend the position. And Ajax will be thinking, no, this is not what I needed at all. I've got Gazman in front of me. I don't want him there. Bunnies has got a clear run at this. Let's have a look at the gap to him and Ragemus. Ragemus still has to pit. The gap is 15 seconds, so Ragemus will lose the lead to Bunnies if it stays like this. He's got to find some speed. Bunnies right now, 36s and 37s. Ragemus are 38.4. So the gap actually is closing down as Ajax has gone up the inside, I think, of Gazman into turn 1. Yes, he does. He's done the Gazman move on Gazman. Gazman will be thinking, hold on, that was the move I was pulling on Ben all of this race. He's now dropped to 4th place. He sees his championship rivals, well, they're not really championship rivals. Gazman not having the best of times with it this season, with a couple of disconnects early on, dropping him down the standings. But he's coming back up now as the season progresses. The advantages of a longer season being shown. Ragemus though leading. He's won races last season for Alfa Romeo in Formula X. Back with Red Bull this season after missing the first few rounds. But he's back, showing pace once more and leading this race. It's 2.2 seconds slower than he has been at this stage of the race. So starting to look a little bit hazy out there. The drivers all seem to be about 2 seconds off their best laps. Watch Ben through the same section. He's not 2 seconds, he's 6 tenths down, so despite the haze it's looking okay, but look at it on board with Bondamus. You can definitely see it looks a bit misty. Closing stages of this race. It's a circuit it can rain at. There's Jam in 7th place, trying to keep himself in contention, trying to catch up with Bondamus. These two have had battles at the end of races before. Looks like they're going to do it once more here at the Red Bull. I think to say the Red Bull ring all the time. The ring. The lights are looking very prominent on these Formula X cars. It has really got dark in these last lap or so. Ragemus there, leading the race, sparking it up. Kicking them up lap after lap. So, lap 27, he has to pit at the end of this lap, I believe. yet to get the 5 laps, so he'll have to pit at the end of this one. He does, so in he comes. So the Red Bull driver into the pits for his final stop. So we look at the lights. The lights are bright in those pit garages. Bunny's in second as Ajax comes into the pits. So Ajax has pitted, Bunny's has not. Gasman has pitted as well. Gasman coming in for his scheduled stop. Ajax not scheduled in. Well, the only reason Ajax would be in is if it's raining. It doesn't look to be. Oh no, there's a rain light. The rain light's gone on Ben. Ajax has put the intermediate tyres on. It is raining. It is. The rain gauge on the left side of the screen has shown intermediate tyres. Gasman came in at the perfect moment to put inters on. What did Rage must put mediums on? Oh no, what a disaster for the Red Bull driver. He's second, he's on the mediums. The rain is falling here at the Nürburgring. Drivers are coming into the pits. Bondemus on the medium tyres. Jam coming out of the pits on inters. Aloe is in too. Slenderfella is in. So drivers are having to use the intermediate tyres. You can see it on board with Bondemus. And Gasman on the intermediate tyres is running away as the grip starts to be used. And that means Bunny's is on the wrong tyre. Bunny's the race leader on the soft tyres. But it wasn't raining when he came to the pits. It definitely is now as he approaches the chicane and he loses control and hits the wall. Oh my word, and the Ragemus has gone round. Drivers are spinning it round. Ajax on the inters. Ragemus is... Oh my word. Oh, heart in mouth moment. Ben then on the soft tyres is on the wrong tyres. Ajax then. Let's go watch this. This would have been heart and mouth for Ajax. He can see Ragemus ahead. Ragemus then presses the power. Oh my word. Nearly race over for Ajax. Fortunately, a bit of ghosting. Ragemus in the water, in the grass. Gasman is in third place now. He's overtaken Ben. Ben sliding around on those soft tyres. Ragemus in fifth. Bondemus in sixth. Jam on the inters has come in. He's still got a green light above his head as into the pits comes the Ferrari of Bunnies. So the Bunnies is in, but Gasman and Ajax jump him as it is clearly raining here. Lap number 29 and 32 as Bunnies comes out of the pits in third place. Ben is still going round on softs. Ragemus has gone off. Where's Ragemus gone? Ragemus, I think, was trying to get into the pit lane. And he's just spun it on the paint. And it spat him out. As he tries to get into the pit lane. There we go, it's one way or another. As Bondemus in seventh place, trying to get the car stopped. He's been off. As Aloe goes past him, as if he stood still. So Jam now in fifth place. Well, he's got Ben to catch up. Ben is sliding everywhere. We've seen Ben, though, at Le Mans a couple of seasons ago have a great battle as Gasman has had... Oh, I thought that was Bunnies going off, but it's actually the Punisher going off the circuit. So we've got Ajax fighting it out, getting the car in the right positions, going up the Schumacher S. There's yellow flags waving around as cars are spinning all over the circuit as there goes Ajax. Ajax has hit somebody. Gasman takes the lead. Gasman takes first place. Ajax in second. What happened there? On board with Ajax. We saw yellow flags. Someone was off the circuit. Let's see, there's a car there. That's a Toro Rosso. That was Rob on drums. Going across the circuit. It's caused damage and Ajax loses the lead on Gasman. Gasman in the McLaren. Well, Gasman's never won a race for McLaren. Ajax, damage on the front of the car. It was all looking splendid for him, but then the rain has hit and all of a sudden he's in a battle of his own. The top three then, covered all in the same picture. Jam up into 4th place now, as Ben struggles on those soft tyres. Aloe will be catching. Ben needs to pit. There's no need to be on these tyres. It's too wet for them. Unless it absolutely dries out the last 3 laps, it's all gone wrong for Ben. Gasman, though, 1st place. After that incident for Ajax. In 2nd, the voice is disappearing. I've been using it all day today, and it's vanishing. Jam in 4th place is getting yellow flags because, oh my word, there was the Punisher. The Punisher trying to get himself into the pits. He can't even get in the pits. He's sliding around so much. Has he had an issue just like we saw? He can't get it stopped. No, he can't. He's hit the wall on the entrance. He's done a David Coulthard. Rob on drums into the pits. The fuel man, the most useless job in Formula X. Here's the fuel man. Ajax then 2nd place with Bunnies just behind. These top 3, you can see them just about in the same picture. You see Ajax, then Bunnies. The top 3 are all in the same picture. I think it stopped raining on board with Bunnies just to see if there were any rain falling. No, but Ajax runs deep. Ajax runs deep. So the rain has stopped. Aloe has got past Ben. Ben's still on the soft tyres. He is persevering on these softs. I mean, he's done a 2:13 and a 2:01. Rage did a 2:47 on the lap where he was on the softs. He's trying to get those inters up to speed. Slenderfella in 8th. Bondemus has dropped massively. He's down to 9th place on these medium tyres. It's the drivers who aren't stopping for the inters are just losing time massively. They always say it's better to be on the right tyre at the right time, and well, for Gasman it couldn't have fallen more perfectly. As we see Ajax now under pressure from Bunnies. 2 laps to go, going into turn 1 in the wet. Ajax has no overtake left. Bunnies trying to go round the outside. The Ferrari driver trying to get past the Williams, but the Williams driver holding position. Bunnies being shown the outside of the corner. They touch each other going through turn number 2 into 3. The lights have stopped flashing on the back of the car, so it is not raining anymore, but quite clearly you can see the spray coming off the cars. It is damp for sure. These intermediate tyres are the tyres to be on. Bunny's trying to get past. He's going to use overtake at some point with a lap and a half to go. Ajax in 2nd place. They're fighting it out. Ajax showing Bunnies the outside of every single corner, saying if you're going to overtake me, you're going to have to do it in the gravel. Ajax definitely, I would have said, driving frustrated. He was leading the race, then there was an incident between himself and a Toro Rosso. Rob on drums, recovering, spinning. And that would, well, it's a good job, as they always say in, oh my word, Bunnies somehow getting through, but they're going side by side, wheel banging it out. Let's have a look at that on board with Ajax. As well, they were side by side, fighting it out through the chicane. So Ajax on the inside, brakes, Bunnies brakes later, they're side by side through the chicane, bouncy time, wheel banging time. This is what we like to see. 1 lap to go then for Gasman in the McLaren. It timed out perfectly for him. In comparison, Ajax, he's got Bunnies on the overtake, going for it. Turn number 1 might be his best opportunity for a move. Ajax defends that inside line. Again, Bunnies cannot do anything about that and has to hold position. Ajax in 2nd place, Bunnies in 3rd. The light fading here at the Nürburgring. Jam in 4th place, a long distance behind. In fact, 25 seconds behind the battle for 3rd place as they fight it out. as Ajax again showing the outside to Bunny's. Bunny's going round the outside though. Bunny's getting himself up into second, but he runs wide. He runs off the circuit. He holds the position though. Somehow he holds the position. How did he manage that? Did he drop back a little bit? Did he feel like he was off the circuit as he made the move? Let's just check. Did he slow it down? He did seem to get off the power a little bit. Puts himself back into second place. Gasman, all the meanwhile, is still leading as this battle for second place is intense. It's a battle not only for second place, but either extending the championship lead or cutting it down. Gasman, though, leading first. He looks like he's going to take victory here at the Nürburgring. As Ajax, he's got to defend himself. We'll have to watch that in a moment. Oh, Ajax is behind Bunnies. Bunnies has got himself up into second place as Ajax goes into the final corner. They're side by side, they're wheel banging. The two of them touch each other. They touch each other and Bunnies has gone off the circuit. As Ajax took second, Gasman wins for McLaren. His first win for McLaren, second place for Ajax. Let's have a look at this between the two brothers. Remember, they've got to see each other in real life, these two. They're fighting it out. Bunny's getting past, then Ajax, they're side by side, no one giving an inch. Oh, and then Bunny's on the circuit, off the circuit. Let's go and have a look on board with the Ferrari. These two fighting it between themselves. Bunny's using all the last bit of overtake he's got left to get himself. He's there-ish. Oh, they're fighting it out and Bunnies goes off the circuit. So lots of, well, everything going on between the two of them. Ajax in second place. Bunnies then will finish in third. Ajax second. Bunnies in third place. Fourth place is going to be Jam. He's got a green light above his head as well. You don't often see that in Formula X at the end of a race. A green light above a driver's helmet. Still had more than 25% of his overtake remaining. Maybe indicates as he uses some overtake to finish the race. Aloe in fifth place in the McLaren, back on form. Aloe, some good results for him in the past couple of races. Ben, using those soft tyres, finishes in sixth. Ragemus on the Inters in seventh place. The long-time leader of this race will be thinking, what happened in that one? It was looking great, and then he put the medium tyres on just as it rained at the end. Slenderfella in eighth place in the other Red Bull. 10th place was Rob on drums. The Punisher not far behind in the Ferrari, in fact. And Bondimus, he kept it out on the medium tyres, but you can just see the lap times. About 13 seconds slower a lap, roughly, than those on the Inters, as he struggles to keep it pointing the right way. And that was the race for Bondimus in the end. He finishes it in ninth place in the Renault. So, at the front of the field, those two fighting it out. Gasman in first place, a first win for Gasman in the McLaren. Congratulations to the Scot. It all timed out for him. He was due to stop on the end of that lap, and it was raining enough for him to go, right, Inters. Ajax also stopping on that lap as well, putting the intermediate tyres on. Bunnies went a lap longer, finishes third, the two of them ironically fighting it out between the two. Is that going to be the site of the championship fight going into the final two races? It's definitely a two-horse race now as Bondimus loses a bit more ground. Jam in fourth place in the Jordan, ahead of Aloe in fifth in the McLaren. Sixth place is Ben, soft tyres at the end. Again, another driver. He did actually run quick at the end, 140.3, so it was coming to him. It just didn't dry out quick enough for him. Ragemus in the intermediates for Red Bull. just made his pit stop at the wrong time. Slenderfella in 8th place. Bondimus in 9th. Ragemus, just bad luck in the end. Rob on drums in 10th place in the Toro Rosso, and the Punisher in the Ferrari in 11th. So that was the race. Congratulations to Gazman in the McLaren. Like, share, subscribe if you enjoyed that one. Definitely all action here. Next week it's Tokyo, and again it can rain there. It rained in season number 8 is when we went there last. Will it rain again? Who knows? Maybe it will. Maybe we'll have a chaotic race like we've just had here at the Nürburgring. Like, share, subscribe. Join us again next week. I'll bid you adieu. Until next time. Goodbye.